So you have COVID and you're banned to your bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing on the walls anywhere. So
Could have
we
drawn
just got
something. Put
plain
something
boring
up.
walls. We got the same color. It almost looks like we're in the same room, but just different sides.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. We're starting a little early, so I'm not going to be as loud.
That's smart. Yeah, it's bright and early, especially where you are. It's 7 a.m. there.
7 and 12 a.m. in the a.m. Christmas Eve
7,
morning.
12. Yeah,
Christmas
happy,
Eve morning.
Merry Christmas Eve. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas Eve morning.
Merry Christmas Eve morning. Did you open presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Some people do both.
I don't know. Christmas morning.
What do you mean you don't know?
We're old, so
Okay.
mostly, I mean, we're not going to my parents this time, so
Oh, no.
we're just hanging out here, so we'll just open them. Yeah, we don't do presents much at all, even.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I get that. We do presents, Dan.
Well, no, of course you do.
We do presents.
Because you're true American. So why don't you introduce yourself, Tony?
Oh, hello, I'm Tony. And I am at my parents' house, and I'm locked in the basement because we're suspecting I have COVID.
Oh, it's not real,
Listen, if this is, I don't feel bad. My throat, I feel like I have two softballs here.
Yeah,
but that's throat. That's it. That's all my symptoms so far. So I'm hopeful that it's not, anything serious.
Every time I've had COVID, it started in the throat and then it goes.
Oh, okay. Great. So talk to me again tomorrow, Dan. Maybe I'll be dead. I don't know.
So, Tony, why don't you tell us about the movie that we consensusly decided upon doing this week?
Yeah, we stumbled upon it accidentally because I thought we had already done this movie, and then Dan told me that we hadn't done this movie. So then we're like, we better do this movie. And this is, of course, what year was this? 96?
96, yeah, I looked it up.
The 1996 heavyweight champ banger, Santa with Muscles, starring Hulk Hogan.
The interesting thing is they were talking about it because he had like a babysitter movie or something. Commando Babysitter or something.
Yeah, sure.
So
and then Vin Diesel did one later.
Yeah, Vin Diesel did one, but he had like another movie which I think was fairly well received as a family movie. So then this I think was sort of the follow up to that, and this one was not well received.
Well, that's because it's not good. There's very few things in this movie that are well done. I would like to see the one that was highly received, or well received, probably highly received.
I think it made money and did okay.
I would like to see that one because I think I like him. Obviously, we've done another one of his movies now, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, I would give it a shot.
I think with this movie, they've taken what's interesting about Hulk Hogan out of the movie.
Well, yeah, almost immediately. It's kind of the whole point of the movie is they take away his personality and then turn him into something else.
Yes, well, they give him a personality that we're not interested in him having. Right. Then they take it away, and so then he doesn't have a personality. Then he sort of grows a personality slightly during the movie.
A little bit.
And then he sort of wakes up and goes, oh, I think I like the personality I grew other than the personality that I have.
Now, I've never had amnesia. I don't know if you have.
No one has. Amnesia, not a thing. Not a real thing.
Wait. Wait. What do you mean? Are you sure?
I mean, I think people have aphasia where they can have issues, but these are hardcore neurological issues that you have to be treated for. You don't just have like serious aphasia and then you just keep on going on with your life.
And then I'm just fine. I'm just out in the world living my new life. Okay, I get that.
I think amnesia is a comedy trope that has gone down through the ages, and not really a thing that ever occurs to anyone ever. Period.
Interesting. Okay. Well, then I guess my question is moot because my question was if you wake up out of the amnesia, but you've been awake because he's not. Because he's got like a new personality, and then he switches again and has his old personality, but he remembers his newish one and is like, nah, that one's better. I don't think any of that's possible.
No, I don't think that's how it works. Oh, the other thing is, you know what the other thing that can happen is you can get hit by lightning and change personalities.
Because it like rewires the circuitry in your brain? Now that is fun. Have we done a movie about that yet?
I don't know. I can't remember any of them.
I'm going to look it up. We need to write that movie. That's a treat. But
I think it has a tendency to make you into a terrible person as opposed to
that's you from even a terrible better, person. Dan. That's the movie we're going to write. Turns him to a real piece of shit, right? It's called Strikes Twice. And then it's all about them, his friends and around him trying to get him to get struck by lightning a second time because he's such a piece of shit. No one wants to hang out with him. So they're throwing him out in storms, putting metal on him and stuff. That's what we're doing.
Storm chasing. You know, they're in California. The next scene, they're driving in Oklahoma. There's like the thing happening.
We're going over there.
It's like, go out on the top and take a reading.
See? We got a movie. One in the can. Next.
Strikes Twice. Wow. I have to admit, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a really good idea for 1992.
Listen, that's where I live, Dan. I have not graduated to the new millennium yet. I'm only 23 years late.
So, Santa with Muscles, we start out, we have a girl who's living in an orphanage in a mission.
Yeah.
Do you know what a mission? Do you know what a mission is, Tony?
Well, I know what missionaries are, and I wasn't sure if those are related or not because I don't know.
You're supposed to make the sex. What's the sex joke? Make the sex joke.
Oh, you a missionary position? It's where the girl lays down, and then I crush her.
No, you're just supposed to say there's also a position.
Okay, here let's start at one and action. There's a sexual position in that then.
Okay, good. We got that.
We got the joke. Cut, print. I'm going to put that clip on Instagram for everybody.
To pry that joke out of you. So what missions are is when the Spanish came to conquer California, they built a series of missions up and down the coast of California.
So you're saying it's a building?
Yes.
So the answer is no, I did not know what a mission was. I love to learn new things on the podcast.
Yeah, so they built these buildings up and down the coast, you know, like San Juan Capistrano. There's a mission in San Juan Capistrano. You know, that's a Spanish name, San Juan Capistrano. Now, Santa Anita, you know, those are all. I've heard
someone say, you know, like something like, oh, there's a mission there. I thought the mission was the group of missionary people, which could be anywhere. I didn't realize that it's a central building.
Mission is a building, and then the people.
I don't like
it's a religious building, and then
that
people.
Much I knew. Yep.
The people who work there are the missionaries, and so the missionaries come with the Spanish, and then they convert all the Indians to Christianity.
Yeah, no, I thought the mission was the group of people who are in fact on a mission.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I was wrong. You'd be wrong.
If
you
close,
thought like me, you'd be wrong. You're close, but dumb.
And so missions have, you know, they have. Bell towers very typically, and usually have, you know, a portola, you know, sort of a, you know, whatever, doesn't matter. But so she lives in a mission where there's also an orphanage, and then she's writing a letter to Santa because Abner Frost is trying to take away the orphanage, and he's making the entire town unhappy.
Yeah, he's a very naughty boy. Dan, thoughts on the exposition of the movie being done in a Santa letter?
I liked it.
I liked it too. I thought it was pretty cute. I thought it was pretty brilliant. She knows a lot of stuff, this little girl, which is impressive.
I mean, it's better than the just godlike.
Just somebody randomly telling me everything for no reason. At least she's doing it in a letter. It's not to us, which is what I appreciate. Yeah. It's just to Santa, and we're just happen to eavesdrop on it. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, a bunch of random occurrences are going to occur to make it so that Santa comes to help her. Like,
it's the best choice they made in the movie. And it's all downhill from there.
I don't think if there's any other choices I liked. Oh, there's one. There's one thing. There's at least one thing I liked in this movie.
Wow, I'm excited.
So the Abner Frost is making the town unhappy. He's sort of buying up the whole town, I guess. And so the bad guys work through an ice cream truck, and it starts out they have tied a rope to their Christmas tree, and they drive off with their Christmas tree.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
So yes.
Couldn't you just pick up the Christmas tree and put it in your van? Sorry, truck.
I don't know. I mean, well, because this is a reoccurring theme of a thing they do is tying a chain to something. That's true. They just take
stuff and then drag it off. That's true. It's a great move. It's kind of like when they used to back in ancient Rome when they tie you to the back of the chariot and drag you through town. I think I'm confusing time periods. Was it Rome that did that?
Could be. I mean,
all right. We'll say it was Rome. We'll say it was Rome, and it's a horse chariot, and they drag you through town and they kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. They drawn and quartered.
Is that the one where they stretch you? I've always wanted to do that.
I think drawn and quartered is where they have 4 different animals on your thing, and then they pull you apart, so you turn into 4 pieces.
I've wanted to do that.
You've wanted to do that. Well, we can arrange to have you do that to you.
I don't think you can. Don't make promises you can't deliver on that. There's no way that's legal anymore.
The proper motorcycle gang will take care of it for you, Tony.
The Sons of Anarchy.
So they steal the tree, and then she's like, "This is my last Christmas here with my friends." And you're like, this is a really interesting orphanage setup. Typically, the child wants to leave the orphanage.
Get out. They want to get out.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I love it. Good for her. She has her found family. Because we can't pick our families, Dan, unless you pick one. And she got to pick it. It's great.
So she is Elizabeth Bentley Walsh.
I did not know that.
Very upper class. Three names.
Elizabeth Bentley Walsh at your service.
Now we meet Blake Thorne, played by Hulk Hogan,
which is it's a cool name, Blake Thorne. Yeah. I like the name. I dig it.
He then goes about fighting all of these people who we find out at the end are all of his servants.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It's timed for some reason.
Because it's just like he's just doing a workout. He's talking about getting his heart rate up, and he's taking a protein shake after. So they just do this as a workout. And the workout is, how long does it take me to beat the shit out of the people that I pay to be here? Which is weird, but also weird is no one's got any marks on them.
No.
I understand it's a kid's movie, but the premise is that he is fighting these people for real. He's hitting them. Yeah. He's knocking them out, and no one has a scratch on him. I'm confused.
And they seem both happy with it, but also maybe slightly resentful. I don't know. It's hard
but
to
not enough to really do anything. Like, they're just kind of like, oh, another morning. I don't know. It's a very weird setup.
So we find out that he has a bunch of supplements and cereal and all sorts of food products that have him on there.
But we don't really know why.
Well, it's just how he made his money, I guess.
That doesn't answer anything to me. Like, how does he have supplements and cereal, right? Cereal, not good for you, just sugar, essentially, right?
Very
so what is this, like vitamin should we be eating this cereal? I guess is my question, because if a health nut is serving cereal, it's got to be good cereal.
There was a cereal in the 70s called King Vitamin.
And it's a great name. Good for them.
This cereal, they put like every vitamin in the world into it, right? And so it tasted like you were eating chemicals. But I think the idea of King Vitamin was, by making this cereal with all the vitamins in it, you could get it through like welfare.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay. But it tasted bad, so nobody ate it, and then it went away.
Yeah, it went away, of course.
That's unfortunate. Listen, try again, cereal brands. Let's give it another shot.
So he has all these rules. Rule 386: don't mix business with pleasure, and da 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 da, blah 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 blah. And that's a bit that never goes anywhere.
Well, it kind of goes away because he forgets everything. So like they set up this they set up a character choice where he, shouts out numbers and people have to repeat the number or whatever. But he just kind of forgets it. Although I guess they do make a call back with the Santa rules.
They sort of do. They sort of start establishing Santa rules, but you set up a game. Bad. You set up a game like that in a thing. And you can do these references and say things that are funny and unexpected. They don't ever do. They never do that. I don't think there's anything in this movie that was funny.
No, I mean, not funny.
You laughed at some of the corny things that happened. This movie's kind of like a Three Stooges movie.
Well, without anyone that can do physical comedy, sure.
Yeah, exactly. So he's off to play paintball, and it's like him and a couple of Humvees and like some motorcycle guys, and then
which is a pretty cool way to play paintball.
Yeah, when they finally get to play paintball, they're playing it in cars, which is different.
Intense, dangerous, great stuff.
And here we have one of the stars of the movie, Clint Howard, playing the sheriff. He then, sort of conflicts with them.
Well, conflicts with them. I mean, he's chasing them and Hulk starts shooting the car with paintballs. You can't do that. You can't shoot paintballs at a cop car. I mean, that's not okay.
You shouldn't do that, but you can do that.
You should not do that. And here's why you shouldn't do it, because just in a few seconds later in this car chase, the police are using shotguns. They are shooting shotguns in the public town at this car that's shooting paintballs. Whoa. This escalated quickly.
They see a sign for the mall, and I guess the North Pole is at the mall. And then we sort of, let's see. And then we sort of go to the mall and we see there's a Santa Claus house and kids waiting, and their Santa is missing.
Before that, there's an important part in the car where Hulk sees the town, and he, in a very weird, giddy way, he's like, "We'll go there. I used to live there."
Oh, really?
Or something like he says something like that. I don't know.
Okay, I missed that. I don't remember that.
But it was very weird. But it sets up the fact that it's the first sign that he grew up here. And by sign, I mean, he basically tells you and then forgets, I think.
Yeah. Very strange. So he bails out of the Humvee leaves the other guy driving. He's like, "See you later, sucker."
It's actually pretty great. He's got a one-liner to his own employee that is he jumps out of the Humvee and lets that guy, basically crash. It's great stuff.
Pretty great. And so so then he's bailed out. He's heading towards the mall. That's what's happening. Meanwhile, we go to the Ebner Frost estate. He's buying a shoe store, and they have to torture a guy to make him sell his shoe store.
Yep.
Get him to sell them his shoe store. They torture him. You want to talk about the people torturing him?
Well, we can talk about that. First, I want to talk about this poor actor who is the shoe owner guy. They hung him upside down for way too long. You can tell that because when he talks, when he's upside down, it sounds like his stomach is in his throat. He's talking kind of like this, like he's choking because all of his blood is in his head, and this guy is probably messed up forever. I'm just going to throw this out that they probably had him up there for 15, 20 minutes at a time, and this guy was in deep trouble.
Have they done that to you on set before, Tony?
No, because you're not supposed to do that. It's not good for you to be upside down that long, Dan. So like we have to shoot it either quickly and then you get a break, or they shoot it so you're not actually upside down. We just make it look like you're upside down. That's my favorite because then I'm just standing.
Oh, how nice is that? So why don't you talk about what's important? Not actors' rights, but talk about the people that are torturing this guy.
We went on strike, Dan. Okay, it's still fresh. So I remember 3. Was there more than 3? I feel like there's 3. There's doctor.
There's a weird doctor guy who's not really part of the torturers.
Who's just kind of like there. Yeah. Then there's my favorite, which is the lady. What was her name? Do you remember now?
The Miss Watt.
Miss Watt. She's got some sort of electrical gloves? Is that how you? And she like kind of claps them together, and there's electricity between them. I don't know how the science works, but I kind of dig it.
Okay.
It's attractive. I think I'd be into it. That's all I'm saying. Like just little shot. Like I don't want to get fried, right? But like a little, like electricity on the touch. That's how they describe sexual tension, right? Just a little tingly on this guy. That's all. You know what? Listen, it could be fun. I don't know. So she's there, and then we got the ponytail guy, right? Does he have a ponytail? The skinny weird doctor guy. What's his
Just like
what?
you mean the really dark haired guy? That's just the general doctor guy.
Yeah, the doctor. Doesn't he have? Is it not a ponytail, or is it just kind of slicked back?
Could be, sure.
All right, well, I don't know. So
I'll agree with you.
We got this weird guy. I don't even know what his shtick is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he's the doctor. Then there's a geologist, Mr. Flint, and then there's a Canadian chemist, Mr. Vile, who produces methane gas.
Oh, that his name is Mr. Vile?
That is what they say at this.
That's actually really funny. That's funny, because he's vile.
I don't know if it's really funny.
It's what is it when a word can mean two different things? Homophone? Is that it? I think I did it wrong. I don't know my English. Anyhow, because vial, because you put your stuff in vials, right? But then vile because he's gross, because he makes methane gas and it's disgusting. My thing is his one line, the only line I remember from the whole movie from him is he says something like, "It's nature's perfume." Methane gas is nature's perfume.
And he does say that. I remember.
I couldn't get back from that. We disagree. It's pretty gross. What does methane gas do to you? Is it laughing gas? Are you sure? Because when they all smell it, they laughed for 5 to 10 minutes.
Methane gas it's when you pass gas. That's methane gas.
Yeah. So, but why did they all laugh? I know that it's stinky. That much I know, because he's Mr. Vile.
And flammable.
Oh, that is important. Yeah. But why do they all laugh when they're intoxicated with it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe he also makes methane. He probably makes nitrous oxide. That's
the
laughing gas.
One. Okay. All right. Well, so then I got nothing.
Maybe he also makes NO.
I don't think so. I don't think he's making two gases, Stan. That's too complicated for this guy.
He's a chemist. Okay. So Hulk Hogan sneaks into the mall, puts on the Santa suit to avoid the cops. The cops see his fatigue and say, "That's him." He hides in the trash chute, and they drop a bunch of trash on him. That was a little bit funny.
That would, Dan, hold on. So here's my problem. I like the idea of it. It's funny. But the two cops are standing next to the trash pit with his big hands hanging over the edge as he's holding on, and nobody notices. I mean, at least put it behind them or something. I don't know. They're literally right next to it. If he leaned over to catch a breath, he would be holding hands with Hulk Hogan.
He loses his grip, he falls, and then one of the elves from the Santa Claus thing comes in there, takes his wallet, sees the money. I'm rich. We find out that Blake is the richest man in 10 states. So if you divide the United States into 5 parts, there are 10 of those states that, when added up, he is the richest man.
Now, well, but it's also the 10, it's got to be 10 closest states, right? Because he says in the 10 states. So I imagine that it's a branching, like a wave of richness, right?
Could be the southern 10 states. Could be the coastal states up to Canada. Or it could be just this sort of strip of states right through the middle. Or a strip of states that kind of goes up and then across and then back down to Texas. I don't know. You can gerrymander the 10 states any way you want, Tony.
You can decide yourself. Okay, it's a choose your own adventure, and I like it.
Talk about the guy playing this elf, Lenny.
I don't want to be too mean to him.
Yeah,
but I hate him.
Yeah,
in general, we've seen this guy before plenty of times, and he's great. He is annoying in this movie. He's too. I get it. It's a kids movie, and you play. You ham it up. You're having a good time. But he's at a 16, and everyone else in the movie is at a 7. So I just need him to find some real moments.
He gets there a little better at the end.
I guess, yeah.
And who's the actor playing him?
I don't remember his name, Dan.
What is his big role that he goes on to?
Oh, I don't know.
He
plays that 70s show, like the uncle, right?
No, he plays the other dad.
The other dad. Spoiler alert. I've never seen a full episode of that show.
Okay. He plays a huge role.
I remember him with the fro.
He's with the fro. He plays their neighbors. He plays the neighbor dad, and huge role, and he's good in it.
I've seen it. I think he's very funny.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
This was not directed well. It's probably not his fault. He's probably. No. My guess is they're on the set and everyone's laughing because they think it's so funny, but it's just too much. It's too much, and we need to take it down a little.
Hulk Hogan wakes up, and we find out that he has lost his memory. And we've also set up that if the elf brings a new Santa Claus back to the North Pole place to be the thing, he gets $50.
Which is a weird incentive. I didn't totally understand.
Well, it gave us a reason for him to find Santa Claus.
A motivation.
Yeah, so he brings Santa Claus back, and Hulk Hogan's like, "I'm Santa. I guess I'm Santa."
But he believes he's the real Santa.
Yeah,
so pretty much it's a little weird to me. But whatever. We'll suspend our disbelief. But I don't believe amnesia. I mean, I don't understand amnesia. Right?
I thought we talked about amnesia.
But no. This is a new thing that I don't understand, Dan. Because he knows what or whom Santa Claus is, but doesn't. If there's kids listening, plug your ears, please. But doesn't realize he's fictitious. Well, that's confusing to me.
Maybe he still believed in the real Santa Claus. Maybe Blake still believed in the real Santa Claus.
Well, Santa's real. Santa's real. I wish I was friends with him. Santa's real, kids. Santa's real. Enjoy yourself. Holidays are the best.
So we do some stuff with him, Santa Clausing to the kids, and then 2 thugs try and steal some money that they're raising for the mission / orphanage. And a girl sees them doing it, and he goes and beats them up.
Clobbers them. Just clobbers them. It's fun.
It's okay, yeah.
I didn't have any problems with this part of it, I guess, yeah.
Everyone cheers. Everyone loves him. He's Santa Claus with muscles.
I guess my one problem, Dan, would be this. If I was going to say anything, is that I don't like the fight scenes. I understand that they're kids' movies, but you do have Hulk Hogan, a professional wrestler. I want to see some cool wrestling moves.
Yeah.
I want to see some pile drivers, maybe a power bomb. I don't know if power bombs were a thing back then. I don't know if that got invented later. I don't know my history. But I want to see him do cool stuff because he can. It's literally his job. I think you should utilize that more. I
agree. So he sees that the thing over there says they're raising money, and then he's like, we should go to the mission. We should go to the mission. And then he's like, we're going to the mission. And so
it's weird because he's so serious about it. He's like, we need to go there right now. Why? What's happening?
And actually, on retrospect, based on the ending of the movie, there is a reason.
There is a reason, but again, amnesia. It's confusing.
Well, the reason is it's not backed up with anything.
No, yeah.
But what we're going to find out is that he grew up in the orphanage himself.
Right.
Even though in neither his amnesia state nor in his normal state does he remember that somehow.
Yeah, that is correct, which is weird, right? I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
never done it.
I have a terrible memory for things, but I remember where I grew up. I would have remembered if I was in an orphanage. I remember if I had parents. Those are kind of things you would remember.
But you've never had amnesia, so you don't really know how it works, Dan. All right?
So Lenny gets him on his scooter. They are heading there. We cut back to Ebner. Ebner's a germaphobe. We see a big map that they've made. Spend all this money to make this map for no reason that glows and.
I don't I don't understand it. It's a cool prop. Are you sure they made it, or did they find it?
No, maybe they found it. I don't know.
Maybe they found it in a prop house and they were like, this is cool. Put it in the movie. I love it.
Boom. So he's like, sends the bad guy out with the ice cream truck. They go there and there's a statue. It looks like Christopher Columbus that they're going to drag off since they've already dragged off the Christmas tree.
Oh, interesting. Is it Chris?
It looks like him.
I didn't know.
It looked like him to me.
Okay.
The woman that runs the orphanage is Leslie. The guy who sort of takes care of things is Garrett Morris. You know who Garrett Morris is?
I mean, I saw him in this movie, and I've seen him in other places.
He's an original Saturday Night Live cast member.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
He's sadly underutilized and not utilized very well, and it's pretty sad.
Sure. Who is? Give me one person that is in this movie.
Who is? So they're trying to steal the statue. Hulk grabs the truck.
Hold on. Don't undersell that. So they're driving the truck away. They are in motion. They're going to run him over, and they stop on a dime.
Dang.
Hulk is able to grab a chain and not even move. Like, he is locked into this floor, 30 miles per hour. Boom! It's like they hit a wall. It's impressive. I feel like I could do it if I worked out a little bit and worked up to it. I could probably do it.
There goes Tony. So he saves them. They're like, come on in, let's have dinner. And there's 3 kids. So this orphanage is made up of 3 kids.
Not big.
The little blonde girl, a little kid that looks like he's one of the kids from Malcolm in the Middle, but he isn't.
Oh, I could totally see that. Yeah.
And then Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. It took me 70% of this movie to finally be like, oh, I know who this girl is.
Don't you watch the credits?
Before the movie? No.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I don't read.
They run credits at the beginning of a movie.
Dan, it's the same conversation I had with my wife about subtitles. I don't want to read while I'm watching a movie. Okay? Don't put things on the screen I have to read. My eyes are relaxed, they're not focused, and we're just taking it all in. I'm not going to read nothing.
So when you watch a movie, you just lay back and just let it wash over you. You're like,
100%.
I will not focus on anything.
I will not read a single thing. If you have a clue in your show or movie that I have to read, especially off a phone, when they do text messages and they're like, oh, you have to read. No, read it to me, guys. I'm not reading your stupid message on the screen. I won't do it.
We've been watching all these shows, and the text messages, they don't care anymore. It'll be like this big on there. It's like I can't read it at all.
I have no idea. You expect me to read it out loud. Have someone say it in an exposition. Be like, oh, they just said this, because I'm not reading your shit.
Tony's going to, when they have an AI thing that'll read all the text, read all the information, you'll just have that on.
Just have that. Yeah.
Text message that says, meet me at the Kenny Shoe Store. Oh.
Thanks, Jimothy. Moving on.
Okay. So 3 kids, one of which is Mila Kunis, which is interesting because she goes on to the 70s show.
100%.
The Next Door Neighbor Dad, 70s show. We had a 70s show thing going on here.
Got a whole thing. All we need is Topher Grace.
Elizabeth is all over. Santa gets him cookies and milk. That
Can't
night,
really blame her.
Going to have jerk chicken. And he's like...
Which is pretty good food for an orphanage. I've never been in an orphanage. It sounds all right. I get why she wants to stay.
Yeah, I think Garrett must have made the food. He's like, jerk chicken night. I'm like, okay, good.
Okay, all right.
Boom. Elizabeth, can we keep him, please? She wants to keep Santa Claus. It's only 3 days till Christmas. And then poor Taylor, the other little kid, he's all like, where are the leftovers?
Now, it's interesting because he is the only one that seems bummed out sometimes.
Yeah,
the other two, the 2 girls are having the time of their lives,
yes,
which is great. I love to see that. I would much rather see that than the sad orphanage stuff, because that's all, that's heartstrings right there. But I am curious on why he feels left out. We don't ever see a reason in the movie, I don't think.
Oh, because they're having fun being in a movie.
Okay.
He's like,
So he's not having fun at all.
He's being like method. He's like, okay,
Right.
I'm in an orphanage. I'm unhappy.
We are the last
channel
three
that.
left. Nobody wants us.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other two are like, we're in a movie. Let's say movie things. This is fun.
Let's say movie things.
They love
Also, I mean, I get why that maybe the orphanage is closing because they do have an equal number of staff to children.
Well, ostensibly the mission, supports itself.
Pays for. I don't get it, Dan. I don't understand what a mission does.
You gotta not pay taxes and stuff. It's great.
You don't have to pay taxes.
We left off a thing. Lenny tried to take his ATM card and go get money, and there was this really weird scene which is best forgotten where he tries to get money and the ATM machine is like, you are doing it wrong, do it again, you are not the person. It's really
when
weird.
It says use your other thumb.
No, we haven't gotten.
Oh, that's later. Okay. How did ATMs used to work? Is this accurate? Was it done on thumbprints? No, okay.
That never happened.
I thought I was losing my mind because that almost feels more advanced than just me putting in my PIN.
10 times, right? 10 times more advanced.
Okay, no. All right. I just thought maybe I missed something.
No, maybe at some point we'll have facial recognition, but we probably won't because anything like that, it's like a PIN code. It's very hard to work around a PIN code.
And let me just say, if I was going to murder someone and steal their face or thumbprint, guess what I'm not getting? A PIN code. Okay. You know what I mean? But I could take your face, put it on my own face, boop, 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 facial recognition, no problem.
Hannibal Lecter.
Demolition Man, they take the eyeball out of the guy and he puts it on the thing. That's one of the best scenes ever.
6 Underground. One of the best scenes ever.
They're fumbling around with an eyeball, throws it on the ground, and it's fine.
Yeah, no comment. So Santa gets up, breakfast, and Lenny sees he needs the thumbprint, so he sees him put his hands on a glass, and he's like, that's the thumbprint I'm going to need. Blah, blah, blah. The little girl's like, Santa explaining to Santa Claus, and you got to help people. And then, boom, Mila comes out. His suit was torn in all this, and she has renovated his suit. Yeah. I like the renovated suit. I thought it was very appropriate for the movie.
And it shows off those beautiful muscles, baby.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's sleeveless Santa, but it's still got the fluff. Yeah, puff. Yeah, good. Yeah, the puff. It's cool. It's a good outfit.
He's got black gloves that have studs or something around there.
Yeah, because he's badass.
I think his buttons on the suit are little silver stars now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it was. You were like, this was clever. This was clever. You were like, why can't this movie be just a little more fun and clever like this?
Well, because they hired one real person, and that was the costume designer. And she was like, or they, I'm sorry, it could be a he, I don't know. And they were just like, I'm going to do a good job. I don't care what the script is.
Okay, news. Oh, the news shows up to do a big feature. When he gets on camera, he freezes up, and then Lenny has to do a pantomime thing to try and get, classic comedy bit. Has to do a pantomime thing. North Pole.
But why? There's nothing in the previous 40 minutes of this movie to make me think that he can't speak on camera.
There's no reason to make
There's nothing. It's just, I don't understand what's happening.
But that's a little bit to waste time. So
it is a little bit to waste time. That's true. Fill some pages.
Lenny takes the glass, goes to the ATM, puts it on there, and then the thing's like, you need the other thumbprint.
This is your left thumb. Use your right thumb or something like that. It's bonkers.
And truthfully, his whole interactions with Lenny should be Lenny trying to get a number, the PIN number or a
trying to
thumbprint.
Steal your money in some way.
But instead Lenny's the character that's always there that has to do the thing to sort of move to the next stage, right? Yeah. He's that classic character. So he also works for Ebner, sort of.
I never understood that connection. I understand when we first meet him, he's talking to him on the phone. He's right. And he's telling him he'll get him his money or something. But then there's a big gap. And then later he's talking. I don't understand it.
Yes, his allegiances are very muddy and they change from scene to scene. And, you have to establish what his, he's in it for money. He's in it for this. He's in it for that. And then we just follow him along as he changes because he falls in love with the kids.
Exactly, as he has a character arc, sure.
Okay, so that fails. Then we have that they're in the chapel and the stupid girl is singing and then he sings. Then we learn that the church has magic windows that glow.
That glow? I don't... Even when they give the explanation, Dan, I don't understand it.
And then they do a duet, and we're just like, this is bad.
Calling that a duet is very generous, Dan, because they don't sound good together at all. I mean, the girl sounds fine. You know what I mean? She sounds fine.
It's just weird.
It's very weird.
So they take the head of the statue, which I don't think did they get away with the head of the statue somehow, and they throw the head of the statue through the window, and it has
they take the whole statue, don't they?
No, because he stopped them, didn't he?
I don't know, Dan.
So they throw.
You're right. They
throw the head through the thing as a threat, and then there's more milk and cookies, and he says, "Keep the milk and cookies warm."
Yeah, which is, you don't want warm milk, do you? No, you want nice ice cold milk.
When I was a kid, I would put ice in my milk.
Okay, see, but that's also weird. So now we've got two weird situations, Dan, and we got to find a middle ground because your ice is going to water down the milk. What kind of milk are we talking? Like skim, 2% full? Did that exist when you were a kid, or was it just milk from a cow?
It's like low-fat milk.
Okay, yeah, low-fat. So you want to take low-fat milk and then water it down more?
No, I want to make sure it's cold. I have to have my milk cold, ice cold. What did you just say? You said ice cold. I had ice cold milk.
Dan, that's an interesting point, and I think I'm going to have to walk back my comments and apologize to you because I did use the exact term ice cold, and then I made fun of you for putting ice in it. That's on me.
So Santa goes outside and he battles the bad guys and he wins.
Yeah, he's Santa. He's not going to lose a fight.
So he comes back in and Taylor is gone, and his slingshot is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So Santa has to go.
But have we seen the slingshot before? I don't remember seeing it until they find him. Have we seen it before?
No.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought.
Oh, so
Great
they go.
Storytelling.
Wait, they haven't got. They go looking for him. They go into the catacombs under the church, and they find a vault.
A series of vaults.
Oh, wait,
right? No, well, the kid is at Ebner's, and they have to go rescue and be like, "Hey, don't use violence." Oh boy!
I guess maybe I didn't write down that scene. Did I forget to write down this whole scene where they go and rescue him?
Because they do. They go rescue him. They find him at Ebner's with his slingshot, and Hulk has to give him a speech about how you don't use violence, even though they just watched him beat up a bunch of dudes. And he says, "I only use violence when it's needed in self-defense."
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So the kid has gone to Ebner's. He goes, brings the kid back. Then they go and but he overhears them saying something about the catacombs, I think, or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So when they go
some
back
sort of catalyst
at the church, they go into the catacombs under the church. They find this vault, and the kids are like, "We've only figured out 3 numbers." What?
So, but I'm just saying, this vault there's just a back room in the church that you open a door and then you go downstairs and then you're in this cave, which they use as a hangout place. There's like a couch down here.
Oh, was there a couch down there?
There's like a little setup where the kids use it as a clubhouse for some reason. Like, what's happening here? But yes, they find a vault door, and now you're going to have to explain vaults to me, because how do they know they have found 3 of the 4 numbers? Does it make a sound? Okay, I'm just curious. I didn't understand it. I don't know. Okay.
Is that how you make a real safe work? No, that's not how a safe works. It doesn't. When you get to the right number, it doesn't go click real loud, and they go back the other way. Click, because that's
like I've seen them when they have the stethoscope and they're like click, but the kids aren't doing that.
No, because what it happens is, something drops into the thing that makes it so it can. You can open the thing. So you're hearing like a little. You're hearing like a little. Like think about a key. I think it works sort of the same. When you put a key in there, there's all these little pins that are pointing down, and when they're all lined up at the right levels, then it turns. So it's the same sort of thing.
Interesting.
I think.
Safe Cracker Weekly, Dan Goodsell.
So the kids have the three numbers, 8, 24, 16, and Santa Claus goes over there and he's all like, I think I got it. And then he turns in the fourth number.
And opens the door.
And we're like, but I mean, since we're going to find out he was an orphan here, I guess that's why he knows the last number.
But why would he be down there? It's not like he planted these weird crystals.
No, he knew the crystals were down there. He knew that since childhood.
Okay.
So basically, I mean,
I don't understand.
It actually makes sense. See, but what it is they figured out this vault when they were kids, him and Ebner, because him and Ebner were orphans in the place.
Sure,
so they figured
Ebner's trying to get back to it.
So he knows the thing in the recess in his subconscious. But what they should have done was they should have had him say, somehow I know the fourth number. They need to clue us in that he has a connection here. Yeah. Because we just think it's just lazy writing that he just walks up and does it.
He just knows it.
Why does he know that? I don't understand. You have to give us
why doesn't Ebner know it? Why doesn't Ebner just walk into the church and go down there and get the stuff if they know it from childhood? Listen, I shouldn't poke holes in the children's movie, but I'm just confused, Dan.
So they open it up, and it's this big cavern, and then there's these glowing crystals, and the crystals are unstable, so if you throw them on the ground, they explode.
They blow up.
But they also make energy, and that's what makes the windows of the church glow sometimes?
That doesn't make sense. That's all. I don't understand the science. They're underground. How are they making windows above ground glimmer? I don't get it.
Maybe the windows are made out of some of the crystals.
So then the church people put bombs in their windows, essentially? Because those things will blow up.
That's exactly what happens at the end of the movie.
Huh. Well, not exactly. No, that's not quite right. All right.
Okay. Boom. Let's see what happens. Catacombs, they say it's worth millions.
Based on what?
I don't know.
Who's going to pay millions for these little exploding crystals?
They make energy. They're supposed to be like dilithium crystals. You can put them in the Enterprise, I guess.
In the Enterprise, I guess. As you do.
So then I write, Lenny gives him his khakis. Then I wrote there's blood on them. And then he says the kids need Santa. I don't remember what the scene was about.
What? I don't think I have any notes on anything you just said.
Next scene, the doctor comes back. He's menacing everyone in the church / mission / orphanage. What is his weapon of choice? The T-square. You know what a T-square is, Tony?
Yeah, it's this. Yeah. And you draw on it. With it.
You use it for drafting.
Sure, drafting. Yeah. I use a pencil and I get a right angle.
Why does he have a T-square?
I have no idea. Although, having said that, I remember my dad had a T-square, but it was like a big one. It was like a yardstick T-square, and it was metal, and it was sharp as shit. So you could do some damage with it.
That's probably used in building.
Sure, architecture.
Literally in building. You slap that up against a wall to make a straight line.
Yeah, well, we used to use it to do the edges of decks to hit each other. We used to use it as a weapon to murder each other. But I'm telling you, it was heavy and it was sharp. Like it could mess you up.
You're at home, you can go get that T-square and show it to the people.
You want me to go upstairs into the garage in the cold weather and go get a T-square?
Well, you could text your dad and get him to bring the T-square down.
Well, my dad's got pink eye, dude.
Your dad has pink eye? What is going on with you guys?
We're falling apart over here. I don't know what's happening. The family's going down for Christmas 2023.
I've never had pink eye. Considering how much I rub my eyes and, you know.
Well, I mean, that's a problem. He's got viral, though.
Conjunctivitis. I think
he's got like a sinus
eye.
infection that went into his eye. Yeah.
Like, is it dangerous?
No, it's fine. But there's apparently not much you could do for a viral one. Not that we need to talk about this, but it's just you just ride it out. Turns out, so he's just walking around with like a big puffy eye on him.
I'm sure he appreciates it. I'm sure. Tell him
everybody.
Tell him I said it was good that we talked about him.
Well, it's good. People need to know these things, Dan.
They're wondering. They wonder about your dad and his health. Okay, so he runs away from Santa. Santa chases him up in the tower. We have this terrible fight, and then Hulk accidentally falls out into a trash truck and drives away.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, so what happens, just so everyone knows, is there's a Santa, like a mechanical Santa up in this, I don't know, window.
Bell
not
tower.
a window.
One of the
bell tower.
Openings in the bell tower.
And so Hulk, wins the fight, essentially, but then a mechanical Santa, which is on a rotating, I don't know, like rotates and pushes him out the window. I don't understand.
Exactly what happens.
He's a 250-pound man. There's no way that Santa's going to push him out the window.
It could happen. He wakes up at home. The garbage man brought him home because he recognized him off of one of his cans.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like reassessing like his existence. Like, man.
Right, because this is when he gets his memory back then? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he has his memory back completely.
All right. But also has the memories from the last few days. So he's got two different personalities that he remembers.
That have to figure out who they're going to be.
The dudes are emerging.
Boom. The bad guys attack the mission. Ebner's wearing like a big spacesuit so he doesn't get germs.
Oh, yeah. I did not understand why he was wearing the hazmat suit, Dan. I didn't get it.
Yeah, that's why. He's afraid of germs. That's why there were those weird things outside the house that would go like this.
Oh, that's like a delouser?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I was very confused about this whole thing, which is weird because during the pandemic, I had a buddy at work that bought hazmat suits, and that's the only way he'd come to the office is if he was in a full hazmat suit. And then he's trying to work cameras in the fucking suit. It was hilarious, Dan.
See, now
it was a real treat.
See, now that's what they should have had in that stupid pandemic movie we watched. That was stupid.
Did we watch a pandemic movie?
Yeah, The Bubble.
Oh, yes. I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't very good. It
was bad.
Yeah.
So they drag the kids downstairs. The kids are going to be the miners of the stuff for a reason that we can't understand.
It's the dumbest thing. I mean, if you want to get child labor, that's fine. I'm not fine. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, that's a motivation. But the one job they're not going to be very good at is mining rocks and hauling them out. They got no muscles. It's a terrible plan.
Well, and they're dangerous, and you don't want these
and they're
stupid kids
blow up.
doing something stupid with them.
Yeah, they're going to blow up.
Also, everybody finds out that Lenny is complicit in the whole thing.
Yeah, poor Lenny.
We're back to Blake at his house.
But he's also not... He doesn't actually do anything in the movie that is helping
he was complicit
Ebner, right?
in this. He was complicit in this part, yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, they say, you're working for us, and he's like, yeah, well, I'm kind of working for them.
Right, but what is he doing for them? You know what I mean? Like, he has... It's not like...
He's
as far as I can tell, he's not feeding information to them.
He's called them on the phone and sort of, he's been living in both worlds. Was he really evil? Did he do anything particularly evil? No, but enough communication with them so that it was wrong.
All right.
Blake is depressed. He doesn't want to even practice battle anymore. And then Lenny calls.
I do love that that's his depression, though. He's like, no, I don't want to beat you guys up anymore, okay? And they're like sad about it. I don't know.
So he assembles his men. They hop in the cars. They're going. Clint Howard is there. He sees them. His name is Thomas P. Hinckley.
Is that Is that a real name?
Well, we
You
had
say it, you know.
we had an issue back in the past when
Okay.
I think the guy that shot
Oh.
John Lennon was named Hinckley,
Oh.
and they had to change. And on the Greatest American Hero, the character had the same last name as this character, that guy, and then they had to change his name on the thing because of.
Oh no! Well, yeah, you don't want that associated with it.
So the cops are trying to stop him, and so one cop pulls out a bazooka and shoots the bazooka at the car.
Up. And we're in the middle of town here, people, and they pull out a bazooka and they shoot it, and Hulk just moves out of the way, and then it blows up the other cop's car. That's great stuff. That's good. That's fun humor.
So weird. He goes out, saves the kids. He says, "Golly, kids, I'm not Santa." And then Elizabeth's like, "You're better."
Yep, it was a cute little moment. I just disagree.
Yeah, Lenny shorts out the electrical lady. Lenny and Blake make up because Lenny did something good.
Right.
And then this is the point at which Blake remembers, or they tell him that he grew up in the orphanage and that Ebner was his best friend.
Yeah. They don't remember does Ebner remember him? Because it doesn't feel like it.
I have no idea.
So they don't remember each other? I don't know, Dan. Everyone's got a little bit of amnesia in this movie.
Yep. They lock the doctor dude in the freezer. Blake goes into the catacombs. And then we get this whole thing where Ebner's mad at Blake, and Blake got taken to a mansion while he got left behind. So we should have known all this information earlier.
Right. And also, so now that you say that again, it does mean he remembers a Blake that went to a rich family, but somehow he doesn't seem to remember that this is the Blake.
I don't know, man.
Because Ebner's never like, oh, it's Blake Thorne. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, there's a Santa in the works.
He's fairly indifferent to Blake.
I don't understand this relationship.
Yep. So then they have a sword battle. Then Taylor uses his slingshot. Leslie pulls Abner's hose. Then the crystals get angry, and then they run away. And we watch as the entire mission blows up.
Just blows up. Just explodes. The whole movie is about saving the mission, and then they just blow it up.
They blow it up.
And also the kids aren't even crying. Wouldn't it? So, especially the main girl.
My friends are still okay.
Right.
That's all that matters.
It's not all that matters, but that's fine. I mean, it's great. It's a good lesson. But these kids just watch their home that they love explode. They would be upset.
Clint Howard shows up in his blown up car. I liked how the blown up car looked. I thought that was a very funny bit.
Sure. Very realistic. That was sarcasm.
News van shows up. They lock all the bad guys in a van. And then Ebner's like, I'm not through with you. But they put him in the cop car. They don't put him in the van. Yep. Everyone laughs. And then they've turned... I think they turned Ebner's house into the new orphanage, right?
Correct. They're like, we need somewhere else to go, and he's, I know the place. Let's go. And then they're all. There's only 5 of them. But
no, there's all these new kids because they get a lot of new kids.
Oh no, you're right. Orphans. They do. They steal some other people's kids and put them in the orphanage. Yeah.
Then they look like through binoculars, and then they can see them working on like the chain gang.
Which there's no way that's right. He doesn't live next to the prison. He's got a giant compound. There's no way he lives next to the maximum security prison.
Wow, this was a Christmas miracle. It's a weird movie. Just like
it is a weird movie.
Weird.
Listen. My wife swears that I watched this on my own for some reason, and that's why I thought that we watched it together and did it for the podcast. I have no memory of the movie. Okay, I'm watching it the other day for the first time. I swear.
Now, you had it on your Vudu?
No, it was on YouTube.
Oh, I watched it on Tubi with ads.
Tubi with ads. No, it's on YouTube. There's someone posted the entire movie on YouTube. No ads.
I watched it.
That's what you should have done.
Tubi with ads, and I saw like one or two ads. Then at a certain point, it would just sort of glitch and then keep going. And
They
so
keep going. They're like, the advertisers don't even care enough to be in this movie. No one's going to watch it. Don't bother putting us in.
But, this movie, I'd rather rewatch this movie than a lot of the movies. Like, I would rather watch this movie than watch Replicants again. I mean, I know you found Replicants funny, but...
I mean, Replicas is the best movie we've done so far. I will maintain that.
Would you watch Replicants again?
Not soon. But someday I would like to watch it again because it was very funny. But the problem is if I watch it again too soon, I'll remember all that and then it won't be funny. Because what's funny is the shock value of all the decisions they make in the movie. And if you remember them, it's not funny. So I need to wait a while and be like, why was Replica so funny? And then I can watch it again. I would rather watch Three Ninjas, what is it, at Mega Mountain with Hulk Hogan. Is that what it's called? I would watch that before I watch this again.
Yeah, sure.
High Noon at Mega Mountain? What is the name of that movie?
I don't know the movie at all, Tony.
All right, Dan, you should watch that.
No, and I'd rather watch the other Hulk Hogan movie we watched. There was way more funnier things. Tons more things that were truly funny and just weird. This movie's just weird the whole way through.
High Noon at Mega Mountain, 1998 with Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's a good one.
I might have to do that at some point.
I'm in. I'll watch the whole saga.
Anything else you have to say about this movie, Tony?
I have Merry Christmas. This was silly. It was a silly movie.
And that's the other thing is it's very un-Christmas / holiday-ish.
Very much, yeah. Other than the fact that he thinks he's Santa, they don't do anything. There's no holiday themes, really. It's not holiday.
Okay, now we talk about something we like or don't like. So I started Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon.
That's not a good sign.
It started good.
Okay.
And I kept watching it, and I'm like, okay. Then we got to like the one lady has to fight like the giant spider lady, and it's just so contrived. This giant spider is like stolen a child, and so everyone stands around as she has to fight the spider. You're just like, why is everyone standing around? Why doesn't someone just take, when you live in a world of blasters, a person can take a blaster and go like this, blaster. And everything is over when you do like this, blaster.
Well, then what fun is that, Dan?
But the beginning was visually interesting. And what's her name's great. I really like her, the main girl. She's like amazing. She was the girl in The Mummy.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. The Tom Cruise Mummy.
Yeah. I really like her. So I'll finish it. And then I also started and almost finished The Creator.
Oh, I'm excited for that. Oh, no. Is it not good? Oh, man.
It is so beautiful. Like,
oh, okay. I can never read you, Dan. So
beautiful.
Okay. Is there a butt in there?
And then you're just like, oh, got it. Can't you just, and that's the other problem with the Rebel Moon is that they, they're taking on everybody's always taking on the whole empire. It's like, do we have to take on the whole empire? Can't we just form a team and do something? That was like what was good about Andor is like it was a bunch of personal stories and it was not about Star Wars gets away with blowing up the Death Star, but most of these things when they try and do like the big thing, you're just like, you're not going to win and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what makes Zack Snyder's zombie movies so good, wouldn't you say, Dan? Because they're in a zombie world, but they're not just taking on zombies. They're just doing a heist. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. I was watching a thing where the Red Letter Media guys were talking about the Zack Snyder zombie movie. Mm-hmm. And they were showing all the things where he directly ripped off Aliens. Like right down to like how characters were dressed and right down to shots.
We call that an homage.
But it's not an homage. It's an homage.
It's an homage. Something it's a homage. All right.
And I mean, that's the other thing with the Rebel Moon is everything, he's doing Seven Samurai and you're just like,
Well, he wrote it So originally, his pitch for this was a Star Wars movie,
No, I
and
get
Star Wars said, "Nah, we don't want it." So then he's like, "I'm just going to create my own world then." So
The problem is that the stuff is just so thin. You gotta
okay. All right. Well, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to love it.
Sure.
Or not. I don't know.
What did you do anything other than catch COVID and disease the world, Tony?
Yeah, we've done a couple of things.
Oh, wow.
First, we watched the new Christmas slasher, It's a Wonderful Knife. Not a good movie, but I enjoyed it. Justin Long is a real treat in it. He is unhinged, which is fun to watch. They gave him, I'm assuming, like these prosthetic, really straight teeth, which make his mouth jut out a little bit, which is very funny, and he's like bronzer tans. He's wonderful in the movie. The movie doesn't make any sense, so don't go for the plot, but he's great in it. And then we watched Violent Night again last night because it's a yearly tradition now, and that movie is a national treasure. And then we finally got to watch Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which was all the thumbs up. All the thumbs up. That movie is great. I loved it. It felt like a 90s slasher done today. And I mean that in the best way possible. Okay. And it's gory. So if you like gore, you're in for some very fun, inventive kills. It's a real treat. It's not scary. So, it's one of those movies. It's a horror movie because it's the horror themes and deaths, but it's not scary.
Sure.
But it's really fun.
Oh, well, good. So we're starting the new year. So I'm like, I had one movie, and then I forgot what it was. Then I had another movie. So I was like, okay, this one, we're going to do this one. We need to do this one. It's one that's been on thing. Then I remembered what the first movie was.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, oh, we're going to do the first movie. Then I looked at the first movie, and the first movie's almost 3 hours long.
So we're not doing that one, right?
Oh, no, we're doing that one because it's 3 hours long. It's a new year, baby.
We're going to come out swinging.
We're going to do my favorite director in the entire world.
Ben Stiller.
Ari Aster.
Who is that? What did he do? Master and Commander? Am I making that up?
Did he do Master and Commander?
I don't know.
No, he did Midsummer. He also did.
Oh no!
Okay. So what are we doing, Tony?
I don't know. Are we doing the one where it's the kid?
No.
No. Okay. What are we doing?
Joaquin Phoenix. Beau is Afraid.
Beau is Afraid. Okay, I didn't watch this movie, because I wasn't interested in it. So I guess we'll see what happens.
This is like a hyper-indulgent art house 3-hour movie where a director who's scored thematic hits gets to do whatever he wants, and the feeling
it sounds like my nightmare.
It's totally your nightmare. This is going back to Fantastic Planet. This is like the worst movie I could think of to make you watch. And so
I think I'm gonna have to watch this in installments. If it's almost 3 hours, I'm gonna watch this at 20 minutes a clip for the rest of the week.
I think it's like 2 hours and 56 minutes. It's like some crazy.
Oh my God.
It's very close to 3 hours. And I almost nixed it, but I was like, we're going to have to do it. So I'm going to have to watch it. So I may as well make you have to watch it. You got to watch
it either way. So you might as well make someone else go through the pain. Okay. Well, I'm not excited. I'll tell you that right now. So I might be mad at you next week.
You should probably make your whole family watch it. That would be funny.
That's what we'll do Christmas Day. 3 hours of nonsense.
How long are you home for the holidays?
We are here until Thursday. So not that much longer. Well, so it goes Christmas, my sister's birthday, then my nephew's birthday, and then we're leaving. A lot of birthdays.
And you're going to spend the whole time in that room, so that'll be great for you.
I mean, probably. I've been banished, so it's not a good start.
Maybe they could hook up a live video feed, so
there you go. We got they have a Facebook portal upstairs. If y'all know what that is.
What is a Facebook portal?
They came out with this to kind of fight FaceTime. It's basically a giant iPad. Giant. Now it's about a regular iPad. That's got a camera that kind of tracks where movement is. So you just set it aside and then it can kind of follow and zoom in on people and, it tries to follow the action. It was early in the tracking, so it's not great technology, but it works. We all use it. That's how we talk.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Get yourself a Facebook portal, everybody. It works through Facebook Messenger, which is kind of my biggest downfall of it because I don't really use
I love
Messenger
Facebook
anymore.
Messenger. Everybody uses
Then
it.
you should get a portal, Dan. You're going to talk to all sorts of people.
Portal it up, baby. Well, good. Well, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you don't have COVID. I hope
Thank you.
Have.
Yeah, I'm going to get a test today. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Get a test today.
Yeah.
I'd send you one, but you're nowhere near.
Yeah, it's not going to get here in time, Dan. I appreciate that. It'll take 4 days to get here, and then I'm leaving anyhow.
I could get on a plane, bring you a test.
Come on down for Christmas. The kids would love to see you.
Okay, so this wraps up this year, and we're going to head into the new year with Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid, and who knows where we'll go after that. Tony,
happy holidays, happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you in 2024.
Oh yeah, and leave us a like or subscribe.
Yeah, that'll work. Good. We're going to start the new year strong. Next week, you're doing it right at the top, Dan. I can feel it. We're going to do it. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
Hey, watch him!